All right, so today we're going on a deep dive into the minds of three monumental figures.
Yeah.
Einstein, Edison, and Curie.
Right.
You know their names. You probably know like their major achievements.
Right.
But trust me, there's a lot more to uncover when we look at
Yeah.
what made them tick and how their work continues to influence us today.
Oh, absolutely. I think their impact is often really understated. I mean, it's not just about the light bulb or emissary. It's about the ripple effects of their ideas and inventions and how they fundamentally change the way that we understand the world and interact with it.
And what's fascinating to me is that they weren't just solitary geniuses working in isolation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Their breakthroughs were often the culmination of collaboration, persistence, and even, dare I say it, a bit of luck.
Absolutely. They were products of their time, building on the work of others and inspiring those who came after them.
Okay, so let's start with Einstein. Everyone knows the crazy hair, the iconic photo, sticking his tongue out.
Right.
But what's really mind-blowing is how he reshaped our very understanding of space and time.
Yeah.
His theory of relativity, though, it's one of those things that makes your brain do somersaults, right?
It's definitely a complex concept,
Yeah.
but I think at its core, it's really about how our perception of time and space isn't absolute. It's relative to the observer's motion.
Okay.
So you can imagine two people observing the same event, but one is standing still and the other is moving at high speed.
Okay.
They would actually perceive time passing differently.
So it's not just that time flies when you're having fun. It actually can pass differently depending on how fast you're moving.
Exactly.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And this idea has practical applications too,
Yeah.
not just theoretical physics stuff.
Right. Think about GPS.
Okay.
For it to work accurately, the satellites have to take into account the effects of relativity, both the speed that they're traveling at and the difference in gravity compared to us here on Earth.
Huh.
It's a tiny difference, but without accounting for it, your GPS would be off by miles.
So Einstein's theories developed over 100 years ago are built into the technology that we use every day.
It's incredible, isn't it?
That's incredible.
Yeah.
But his work wasn't all smooth sailing, was it?
No.
I mean, to prove some of his ideas, it took decades and observations from around the world.
Absolutely. The scientific community didn't immediately embrace his theories.
Right.
It took time experimentation and even things like observing how light bends around the sun during a solar eclipse to provide evidence and solidify his place in scientific history.
Speaking of changing the world, let's switch gears to Thomas Edison.
Okay.
I mean, this guy was a machine when it came to inventing.
Yeah.
But more than that, he was a master at making his inventions useful for everyone.
And that's a crucial distinction.
Yeah.
It's not enough to have a great idea, you have to be able to bring it to the masses. Make it practical and affordable, and that's what Edison excelled at.
So let's talk about the light bulb.
Okay.
We all know the story.
Yeah.
But the truth is, he didn't invent the first light bulb, did he?
He didn't. There were other versions before his,
Oh, okay.
but they were either too expensive, too short-lived, or too difficult to produce on a large scale.
Oh.
Edison's genius was in perfecting the design, making it durable and affordable for the average person.
Okay, so it was more about the 99% perspiration, like you said.
Exactly.
But to bring the light bulb to market, he had to solve more than just technical problems, right?
Yeah.
Didn't he have to create an entire infrastructure to support it?
He did. Think about it. Before electric lights, people relied on gas lamps or candles.
Oh, right.
Edison had to figure out how to generate electricity, build power plants, create a distribution network.
Oh, wow.
He essentially built the foundation for the electrical grid we rely on today.
So when we talk about Edison's legacy, it's not just about the light bulb itself. It's about the entire system he created to bring electric light to the world.
It really is.
It's mind-boggling how much he accomplished.
And let's not forget his other groundbreaking inventions.
Yeah.
The phonograph, the motion picture camera.
All right.
He revolutionized how we experience sound and visuals, laying the groundwork for entire industries that are still thriving today.
And speaking of industries being revolutionized, let's move on to Marie Curie.
Okay.
Now, she was working in a totally different realm. But just like Einstein and Edison, her discoveries had ripple effects that went far beyond the laboratory.
Absolutely. Her work on radioactivity was groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Literally changing how we understood the building blocks of matter.
Right.
And beyond that, it opened the door to applications in medicine, energy, and even warfare.
Okay, so for those of us who aren't nuclear physicists, what exactly is radioactivity?
Sure.
It sounds a bit intimidating, to be honest.
It's actually a natural phenomenon.
Yeah.
Certain elements, like the ones Curie discovered, polonium and radium, are inherently unstable. Their atoms spontaneously decay, releasing energy in the form of radiation.
Oh.
That radiation can be harmful, but Curie also saw its potential for good, especially in medicine.
So she's the reason we have X-rays.
That's right.
I mean, that's a pretty big deal, being able to see inside the human body without cutting it open.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine medicine without that.
Her work was instrumental in developing X-ray technology, and beyond diagnosis, she pioneered the use of radiation to treat cancer,
Wow.
paving the way for radiation therapy, which continues to save countless lives today.
It's amazing to think about the impact she had, especially considering the challenges that she faced as a woman in science at that time.
It's incredible. She faced prejudice, limited opportunities, and a lack of funding.
Wow.
Yet she persevered, driven by her passion for discovery. She was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize and the only person to win it in 2 different scientific fields.
Wow, that's an incredible achievement.
Yeah.
So we've got Einstein bending our minds with relativity, Edison bringing us light and entertainment, and Curie unlocking the secrets of the atom.
Right.
They seem like such different figures working in totally different fields.
They were, but there's a common thread that ties them together.
Okay.
They were all incredibly driven, relentlessly curious, and willing to push the boundaries of what was known.
Right.
Their work wasn't just about making discoveries, it was about changing the world.
We're back diving deeper into the lives and legacies of Einstein, Edison, and Curie.
Okay.
Before we jumped into Marie Curie's groundbreaking work, you were talking about a common thread between these 3.
Yeah.
They were all incredibly driven and curious. But how did that translate into, like, their actual process of discovery? Was it all about meticulous planning, or were there moments of serendipity?
That's such a great question, and it really gets to the heart of like how innovation happens, right? It's a mix of both.
Okay.
It's a blend of rigorous experimentation and those unexpected aha moments. Take Edison, for example.
Okay.
He was famous for his systematic approach, testing thousands of materials before finding the right filament for his light bulb.
Right.
But even he acknowledged the role of chance encounters and unexpected observations in his work.
Yeah.
He once said, "Discovery is not invention, it is perspiration plus inspiration."
So even with all that perspiration, sometimes you need a spark of inspiration, that flash of insight that changes everything.
Yeah.
And wasn't there a bit of controversy surrounding some of Edison's work? I mean, he was a brilliant inventor,
Yeah.
but he was also a savvy businessman.
You're hitting on a really important point.
Yeah.
Edison wasn't just a tinkerer in a lab. He was a shrewd entrepreneur who understood the power of patents and marketing.
Right.
He was involved in what was called the War of Currents with Nikola Tesla, a battle over which type of electrical current would become the standard.
Okay.
Edison championed direct current, while Tesla advocated for alternating current, which we use today. That rivalry really highlights the complex interplay between science, business, and even ego in the world of innovation.
It's a reminder that progress isn't always a straightforward path, and sometimes the best ideas don't always win right away. It takes time for those ideas to take root and flourish. Speaking of ideas that took time to be fully accepted, let's go back to Einstein.
Okay.
His theories of relativity were revolutionary, but did everyone immediately jump on board?
No, not at all.
I mean, the idea that time and space are relative is pretty mind-bending even today.
It's true. His ideas were initially met with skepticism.
Right.
Some physicists found them too radical, too difficult to grasp.
Yeah.
Remember, this was the early 20th century, a time when Newtonian physics still reigned supreme.
Right?
Einstein was challenging the very foundation of how people understood the universe.
Wow.
It took time, further experimentation, and observations like the bending of starlight during a solar eclipse to provide evidence and win over the scientific community.
So it wasn't just about the brilliance of the idea itself, it was also about the evidence, the proof that backed it up.
Exactly.
And Einstein's work wasn't just about abstract physics,
Right.
it had real-world applications that we still benefit from today.
Absolutely. We've already talked about GPS, but his work also laid the foundation for things like nuclear energy and even our understanding of the evolution of the universe.
And while Einstein was grappling with the vastness of the cosmos, Marie Curie was delving into the mysteries of the atom, a world that's just as complex and awe-inspiring.
Absolutely.
We talked about the dangers of radioactivity, But what were the conditions like for her research back then?
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't exactly have all the safety protocols we have today.
You're right, the early days of radioactivity research were a bit like the Wild West.
Oh, wow.
Scientists didn't fully understand the risks involved, and Curie herself suffered the consequences of prolonged exposure to radiation.
Oh.
She and her husband Pierre often worked in makeshift labs with limited resources. They were driven by pure passion and a thirst for knowledge, but those conditions definitely took a toll on their health.
Is a stark reminder that scientific progress often comes at a personal cost.
Yeah.
And it's important to acknowledge that Curie's discoveries, while groundbreaking, also had a darker side.
Right.
Her work on radioactivity paved the way for things like nuclear weapons. A reminder that even the most groundbreaking scientific discoveries can have unintended consequences.
It's true.
It's all about how we choose to use that knowledge for good or for ill.
That's a powerful point, and it underscores the ethical responsibility that comes with scientific advancement.
Right.
We have to constantly question how our discoveries will be used and ensure that they benefit humanity rather than harm it.
It's a conversation we need to keep having as science and technology continue to advance at an incredible pace.
Absolutely.
But let's shift back to the positive impacts of Curie's work, particularly in medicine.
Okay.
Her discoveries led to groundbreaking treatments like radiation therapy. But she didn't stop there, did she?
Not at all. Curie was also a tireless advocate for using her discoveries for good.
Okay.
During World War I, she helped develop mobile X-ray units, which were instrumental in treating wounded soldiers on the battlefield.
Wow.
She personally drove those units to the front lines, risking her own safety to save lives. That level of dedication and compassion is truly remarkable.
It shows that she wasn't just a brilliant scientist. She was a humanitarian who understood the power of her discoveries to alleviate suffering.
Yes.
And let's not forget the barriers she broke as a woman in science.
Right.
It wasn't easy for her to gain recognition in a male-dominated field.
It's a testament to her strength and determination that she not only made groundbreaking discoveries, but also paved the way for other women in science.
Wow.
She faced discrimination and skepticism, but she never let that deter her from her pursuit of knowledge.
Right.
And her success, despite those obstacles, inspired generations of women to pursue careers in STEM fields.
It's a powerful legacy that continues to resonate today.
It really does.
So we've got Einstein challenging our understanding of the universe, Edison illuminating our world and changing how we experience sound and motion, and Curie unlocking the secrets of the atom and revolutionizing medicine.
Right.
Their achievements are so vast, so impactful, it's almost hard to grasp. How can we even begin to sum up their combined legacy?
It's almost impossible to quantify their impact, but I think it boils down to this.
Okay.
They expanded the horizons of human knowledge and possibility.
Right.
They showed us that the world is far more complex and wondrous than we ever imagined. And they reminded us that human ingenuity, driven by curiosity and a relentless pursuit of knowledge, can change the world for the better. But it's not just about their individual brilliance.
Right.
It's about their collective impact, how their work built upon and inspired each other, creating a chain reaction of innovation that continues to this day.
It's a beautiful thought, this idea of a chain reaction of innovation. Their ideas sparking new discoveries and inventions that continue to shape the world. We've covered a lot of ground, but I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of their incredible lives and legacies. We're back for the final part of our deep dive into Einstein, Edison, and Curie.
Okay.
It's amazing to think how their individual, passions and pursuits led to discoveries that intertwine and shape the world that we live in today.
It's true.
It's like they each held a piece of the puzzle, and when their work came together, it revealed a whole new picture of what's possible.
Their legacies are so intertwined.
Yeah.
Think about how Edison's work on electricity literally powered the advancements in science that Curie and Einstein built upon.
That's a great point.
Without accessible electricity, who knows how long it would have taken for their breakthroughs to occur.
It highlights how progress in one area can have this cascading effect, fueling innovation in other seemingly unrelated fields.
Exactly.
And it wasn't just about the practical applications, right?
Right.
Their work also had a profound impact on the way we think, the way we see the world, and even the way we create art.
Absolutely. Einstein's theories of relativity weren't just about physics. They challenged our fundamental understanding of time and space. They seeped into philosophy, art, and literature, inspiring new ways of thinking and creating.
It's like he gave us a new lens to view the universe, and artists and thinkers ran with it, exploring these mind-bending concepts in their own ways.
Exactly. And think about the impact of Edison's inventions on our culture.
Oh yeah.
The phonograph didn't just change how we listen to music. It
Right.
changed how music was made, distributed, and experienced. It democratized access to music, leading to the rise of new genres and the global music industry we know today.
And the motion picture camera? Wow. It wasn't just about capturing moving images.
Right.
It was about storytelling, entertainment, and like the birth of cinema.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine our world without movies.
Yeah.
And that all stems from Edison's inventive spirit.
It's incredible.
And while Edison was revolutionizing entertainment, Curie was working on discoveries that would transform medicine and beyond.
Right.
Her research on radioactivity led to life-saving treatments like radiation therapy.
Yeah.
But it also had this ripple effect,
Yeah.
laying the foundation for nuclear physics and all its implications.
It's true.
It's a reminder that even the most groundbreaking scientific discoveries can have a duality to them,
Yeah.
a potential for both good and bad. It all comes down to how we choose to use that knowledge.
Precisely. And that's a responsibility we all share, not just scientists.
Right.
As technology continues to advance, we need to have these conversations about ethics, about the implications of our discoveries, and about ensuring that they benefit humanity rather than harm it.
So we've talked about their individual legacies,
Yeah.
but what about their collective impact? What's the enduring message that Einstein, Edison, and Curie leave behind for us today?
I think it's a message of boundless human potential. They were all driven by this insatiable curiosity, this relentless pursuit of knowledge, and a belief that they could change the world. They showed us that the limits of what we know are constantly being pushed, and that even seemingly impossible ideas can become reality.
And they weren't afraid to fail to experiment and to learn from their mistakes.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that innovation is a process, not a destination,
Right?
and that even the most brilliant minds face setbacks along the way.
And it's a message of empowerment.
Yeah.
They remind us that we all have the capacity for greatness,
Mm-hmm.
for making a difference in the world. It's about nurturing our curiosity, embracing challenges, and never giving up on our pursuit of knowledge and understanding.
It's a powerful reminder that even small acts of creativity, innovation, and kindness can have ripple effects that we may never fully comprehend.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up our deep dive, I think the best takeaway is this.
Okay.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what you think is possible. Who knows, maybe you'll be the next Einstein, Edison, or Curie,
It's an exciting thought.
sparking a chain reaction of innovation that shapes the future in ways we can only dream of.
The future is full of possibilities, and it's up to each of us to embrace our curiosity, nurture our creativity, and never stop exploring the wonders of the world around us.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the lives and legacies of three incredible individuals who shaped the future. Until next time, keep learning, keep innovating, and keep making the world a little brighter.